What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast, episode number 6. We are starting exactly on time, no matter what Scott would ever want
40
to
minutes
tell you.
late.
But we're excited, dude. This is an exciting week. This was a big
I was
week.
excited 40 minutes ago.
It is all gone. That all has gone.
It's petered out.
This was the Wednesday stream. Not that I'm like full into One Piece. I have been in easy catch up, but I have been enjoying One Piece, the card game. But I had pre-ordered. They did like this promo set where you could get like high played cards as like an alt art to help distribute them. A lot of them were from starters. So I was like, I'm new into the game. This is a good catch up. I like the art. I'm in. And then also there was one where it was like a box from an old set and you got a playmat and a deck box. And I was like, that's pretty good. So I picked my favorite character from the anime. Law, Trafalgar Law. I really like him. And so I picked that, and I had them both pre-ordered. And then the Wednesday stream happened, and I was like, I'm going to need a lot of money for Star Wars Unlimited. So I canceled both those. I did. They were both pre-orders. I was able to cancel, and I got my $200 or so back.
Doesn't Bandai make One Piece?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Isn't it just like a reskin of Naruto?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell you. Someone.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Banana said it was similar to one of the other games, whether it was Naruto or DBZ or something like that.
Well,
couldn't tell you. This is my first Bandai game.
Right, the old ass Dragon Ball card game that Tommy and I used to play back in like 2009. That was like a reskin of Naruto already. So if they're a reskin of one, it's a reskin of both.
Reskin of a reskin of a reskin of a reskin. But it actually is kind of cool to play One Piece and live in New Jersey because they open like a card game specific store up like right outside in New York. So it's like a 2-hour drive for us, but Brian and I were talking about making that trip, which I thought would have been a pretty cool experience. They sell everything in MSRP, which is some of these old cards are not. The first set of One Piece was essentially the Lorcana. Vastly underfunded. You get the starters.
I remember seeing that like when we were playing at Red Caps, like not One Piece, but playing Flesh and Blood at Red Caps because the same night it was like
Thursdays,
free for all, feeding frenzy type thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I hit my refund on those things. But yeah, I mean, we'll go around. We'll say what we've been up to. But I mean, that kind of covers what I've been playing some One Piece. Me and Brian getting into that. We were supposed to go to a locals tonight, but it ended up being their pre-release, which we did do that on Sunday as well. I think Brian and I both went 1 and 2. Brian beat up on a 6-year-old for his one win in the
take it.
You don't ask how, to ask how many.
Yep.
At the end of the day, all we know is 1 and 2. Nothing else.
Yep.
Nothing else.
You don't need to elaborate.
You can't control your pairings.
I can't. No, and that's the thing about One Piece too. I feel like all these games are very close too. I think that the game is really well designed. I've been really enjoying it. Like Jack said, I'm trying to catch up on product, and I've done a box of each except for Romance Stone, which is just impossible to find. But
it's like a $200 box, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on one color and one character, and then I have like a side. Like the decks are very, very cheap to make. They're meta competitive. Smoker was kind of expensive, but Nami I got for like $30, maybe less. I already had some of the cards that I pulled. And if you really want to get crazy, the alt arts are like 60 to maybe like 130, but they stay on the board. So those are definitely worth playing or getting if if you're into it. And I'm looking forward to playing more of it. But after tonight, I don't know. I might be really excited about something else. We'll get into it in a minute.
I mean, I saw there's like a live action One Piece Netflix thing.
Yep,
it's good.
And there's a guy with like a weird sword, and there's pirates. Why are there pirates?
The whole show is pirates.
They're all pirates. Show is pirates.
They're all pirates.
They're actually taking, which is really cool. So they're taking the live action character and him and putting him on a card, and he's actually like a draft specific card. And
he's rainbow.
Yeah. So there's colors in the game, right? And you can only whatever your leader color is what you can bring to your deck. He's every single color, but on it also says that this card can only be played in specific events, right? Or clarified with an event. So they can print that, put that on there, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see the live action character on there, but there also is like an anime version if you're somebody who doesn't want to play with a human.
And he's doing a great job with that character.
He's Luffy. He is Luffy.
Yeah, he's Luffy. He's
Is
phenomenal.
Luffy the guy with the weird sword?
No.
Yeah.
No, is Luffy the guy with the weird hat?
Yeah, the straw
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah, the straw hat.
Just making sure.
So the weird sword could be Zoro, but he also has 3, or you could
I
have
think
seen,
he's
you could
discussing
see Mihawk. Yeah, who has the huge sword.
Yeah, huge sword.
Yeah,
It's Mihawk.
yeah. But what else have we been playing? Scott, what have you been playing? What have you been doing? What have you been up to?
Oh, we've got our Warhammer 40,000 Slow Grow League. We've actually expanded out to 10 people
Ooh.
because we added Shane and Cowden.
Oh, nice. What
Yeah.
what factions did they pick?
Shane's playing Necrons, Cowden is playing Black Templar. I'm 3D printing both their armies, so they're not spending much money.
Both
That's
those
sick.
picks, if you had to like ask me, I probably would have said both those for Shane and Mikey.
We played a game. It was we played a team game of Shatterpoint. It was the Philippines versus me and Cowden. And Shane said if they won, he would play 40k. And Tommy just decided to roll only fucking hits after
to
that.
turn it on. Tommy's like,
Yeah,
wait,
just-
let me take my weighted dice out real quick.
Yep, just something like that. It's a close game, but it was just Tommy was rolling us under the table. He was like taking Shane's
Cool.
dice from him to roll.
Wait,
No,
there's
no,
dice in
no.
that game?
There
Yeah,
are dice in
I
that
got a new game. I'll see you guys later. There's dice. Yeah.
Oh, if you want a game with dice, play 40k. Play 40k.
You
Oh,
chuck a lot
I need
of
to roll
dice.
50 dice at once.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Ayo.
That's like a unit of Primaris Crusaders with chainswords. 50 dice. Boom.
Could play the what's like the human infantry? I always forget what they're called. I haven't
The
played
Astra Militarium, the Imperial Guard.
Yeah, the Imperial Guard, where you just run 100 units, but they all do nothing. But
Yeah,
you're
they all
just
do
swarming
nothing. Just
board.
las guns that don't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I've been trying to crank out a Necron army for Shane in like 5 days so that we can so that he can play Cowden this Saturday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Flock, what about you? Anything new? Just frisbee?
So I got something new. Frisbee is over.
Whoa.
I am doing a fall league once a week, but it's like a not really competitive league.
It's
So-
just an amateur league.
It's a casual league that's for new players. So I'm like help teaching people how to play.
It's a
and-
slow grow league.
Yeah.
Literally
So-
for Frisbee.
Yeah, yep. So it's for new people. So doing that once a week.
Cool.
Got soccer. We started our soccer seven league, and been playing some SWU. Ayo.
Shwoo. Shwooey dooey.
Is that what we're calling this game?
Swoo?
Swoo.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
We've been calling it Swoo for weeks now.
I don't want to.
Sky,
I think every time you say it, I block it out of my mind.
It's your prerogative, but like you got to get on board with the program.
The game's called SWU.
swoo ooh ooh.
Oh, it sounded
Swoo.
disgusting coming out of your mouth. I don't know why. Ugh, let's
Yeah,
be civil.
Alright, Unlimited. We played Unlimited this past.
Unlimited.
Yep.
Yeah,
now
I
it's,
got you, Scott. I killed it. I
Flocky
killed it.
I
killed it, I got you.
Scott, all you had to do was put the ball in Flock's court for him to kill it. Easy.
So Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah, so Star Wars Unlimited, very, very exciting news. But before I guess we even get a little bit into, they did a live stream. So if you haven't watched that, encourage you to go watch it. It was one of their shorter ones because, in reality, how much you're coming out to say what's in a pack. How can you really expand on that? But it was,
Apparently they could because they needed to clarify afterwards.
true. Well, yeah,
That's
because it's because there's foils, there's hyperspace, and then there's whatever the other thing is.
Showcase.
Showcase, yeah. So there are some things I guess in there that could
A little nuance.
make it a little crazy. But before we get into that, we did some print and play. So Flock and Brian, I just Brian, you played some TTS with me, but Flock, this is really your first time playing
Yeah.
some of the games. You played Boba, almost first impressions of the game, or the thing you could compare to. I mean, the only other card game you had played really is Destiny. You tried Lorcana, so I mean, if you want to give positive, negatives of the past, of things you really liked, or even just I don't know, viewing it in and of itself.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, now that I've played card games, it's a little bit easier to get into the games. The more you play card games, the more it is to pick up on the nuances of the games. But first impressions of like actually sitting down with the actual cards and playing them, there's a lot more into it. I mean, I was also overthinking it, but there's a lot more into each play you make, which is very interesting. And I do like the back and forth. One person makes a move, the other person makes a move, because it really makes you think. Okay, you got to think multiple moves that they might do ahead. So I was doing a lot of thinking and a lot of reading. So it was very
Not
slow.
in 4Ks.
Yeah. So
Flock and I played an aggro game, and it took 35 minutes.
yeah. I had to read. I had to think. I don't know.
Falling asleep at the wheel.
I'm sorry. That's my fault. Although that game, no
We're
one's
not
gonna
to
see.
count it because we misplayed how.
Because Jack
how you
cheated. I was gonna
Honestly-
win, and Jack cheated.
We all agreed in the moment.
I didn't
Yeah,
agree. I was like, this makes no
and-
sense. I asked you like 3 times. I'm like, that makes no sense.
you
but I'm like, whatever.
You started to ask when you started to lose. You're like, wait, does it really?
No, that was
What happened?
We can edit that out.
So-
we can edit
so-
that out.
we'll bring it back.
well, we're not
We'll
gonna
bring
use
it
it.
back, and I'll snip it out. I'll show you where I was like, I don't know if that's it, but whatever.
So we were
Whatever.
talking about. Oh my gosh! Sorry, my screen's sharing the wrong thing. So I played the new Sabine. Well, I was playing Sabine leader deck, and then I played the Sabine unit, and she has a thing where it says, while there are at least 3 aspects among other friendly units, this can't be attacked unless you gain Sentinel. So maybe there are other things that can gain Sentinel. Little side note there. But I had like Leia, who is hero yellow, and I had an X-wing out, who is just hero. But ultimately, the ruling is it has to be 3 different icons. But we weren't sure because it didn't say 3 different aspects, but I guess at least 3 aspects. Like,
I
still
could have
should
told
work
you
out
what
there.
that meant off the bat.
all right, Scott should have been there. We should have invited him. But we weren't sure, and then we canceled the game anyways. But also, I mean, Sabine only got 2 attacks off because you waylaid her and did stuff anyways. But you probably
be
wouldn't have
fair,
waylaid her
I-
if you could
I
kill
think
her.
that game I spent a lot of stuff trying to like play around her.
I think that game was actually very decent if you don't count the Sabine. I think
Yeah.
that Flock did a lot to counteract your
A
Sabine.
lot. I
And
was doing so much
Yeah.
to counter Sabine. I'm like,
he
this is so
exhausted her
annoying.
quite a few times, and I mean, he did a
Yeah.
good job. But yeah, I think that is kind of it's too great to.
No, I
to-
agree.
to
I mean, that
count,
totally
but-
changes the game and is like,
Yeah.
that's why, like, Flock was like, oh, well, maybe we still post it just to post it. But I was like, that entire game is like null and void because not only did I do like 9 damage with her to your base, probably at least, you also waylaid her, you asteroid sanctuaried her. Like, you put 2 to 3 cards into her to try to like negate that when, like, you could have put that towards more meaningful things and just killed her earlier.
And what's-
The one time she was out, I literally was going, I'm like, I'm gonna kill her. I'm like, oh, I can't because I can't attack her unless she has Sentinel. I was like, and I started doing other stuff and all that.
What's funny about that game is that I think it was the score was 20-0, and Jack did 5 to his own base. with Sabine.
With Sabine.
So like, the game like kind of looked good, and then from a certain perspective, you look at it and you're like, just trash that one.
I was so one of the things that we saw was just that of the games we played was that command was really good, but like I said, I think that has to do with like villain command has relentless, hero command has home one. Like they both have bombs to finish the game, whereas like I don't know, the aggression package doesn't like. I played Sabine. The red cards that I could play were the Sabine unit, open fire, and the red ship, whatever that one was called. So it was like, literally the package doesn't exist, which we obviously know going into it, but it was just like, made it feel so terrible. I was like, I'm playing the same cards that I would exactly play in another deck because I can't play anything. I'm playing all the neutral hero cards and some of the yellow cards because I took the yellow base. So it felt weird. And also, that made it so we probably won't even see Sabine unit's potential of the 3 different aspects because the only way I could get 3 aspects out is if I had that one specific other red unit out because it was Sabine, the fighter, and then it was an event card was the other red. So, and the space unit has 1 health, so you could literally kill it with almost anything.
Yeah, but I think from my perspective, I played. You'll see. I played a deck that was a little more put together just because there's more cards out and applicable to the deck, and I think that even though we don't have the full, even though we didn't have the full list, like this game feels really good. I think that there's going to be a lot of strategy going into this game. It feels very good to play, and I think the more cards that come out, like this game's going to be a banger.
Yeah.
Straight up, I'm high on this train, man.
Reputation on it.
Yeah,
Stick to
what
What
If
about
what
it
little I
isn't,
have,
he will shave his eyebrows.
that's not much left.
the
They're hiding behind my glasses.
well,
Yeah, I think it's
Scott, I'm
good.
a little curious too, like to pick your brain on it, because I mean, you haven't really played, obviously, because I mean, there's also not like anything crazy exciting to play just yet. But like, I know you're into like Fab more. You know, you're doing the Warhammer League, so I don't know. Like, one, I guess, how much is unlimited on your radar? See, look, I didn't say swoo just for you. How much is unlimited on your
That's
radar?
good.
um, in terms of what you've seen so far, is it more on your radar? Like, are you excited for this game? Do you feel like you're gonna buy a box of it? Like, I don't
It's
know.
more on my radar, not for anything that has had to do with the cards or gameplay.
Gotcha.
It's simply everything else that's been it's because, if I'm looking at it from like my history with FFG games, the issue for me has never been the like overall gameplay being engaging or like the card art or anything to do with the product. Balancing, yes, but like not engaging gameplay. So that I'm kind of like assuming is going to be fine, slash I'm giving them like a pass on engaging gameplay until maybe like set 3. Because to be honest, I think a lot of FFG games have fallen into this pitfall or been stumbled up by this where like they try to be too much out of the gate as far as like mechanics. So to have something that maybe is a little bit dialed back from the normal FFG might be a good thing, and I'll give them a few sets to kind of like ramp up like complexity and things of that nature. So I'm giving like the game is a I'll see about that later. It's more the other like ancillary support stuff that FFG has like screwed up in the past that I'm paying attention to. So
there-
like the
yeah.
fact that we got this article about, pack distribution, and the pack distribution looks competently and interestingly done, that's a bigger like feather in their cap than whatever card they're going to preview.
Yeah, I think that's
Just
a
from my
lot of
perspective
people.
of like, I'm giving them like very hard side eye with everything, so it's more that stuff than the gameplay that I'm concerned with. The gameplay, I think, will just knowing some of the people involved, knowing having played games with Tyler before, and knowing like some of the custom stuff that he made for the Star Wars LCG, like I'm confident the game can be compelling. It's more just, can FFG run a game?
And I mean, I feel like it's a totally different so far, and there's still a lot of questions, like you said. There's a lot of
It
big
is
things, but-
markedly different than their previous efforts to publicize or advertise games. So far, I'm, can't really fault anything that they've been doing. It's pretty much exactly what they should have been doing for all of their games.
Yeah, it was. I think it was last podcast or something. I was like, I was like, these new streams have been really, really good. Is it recency bias of how much better these streams are, or were the ones before so bad? And I went back and watched some of them, and like, I'll give a pass on quality. Right, they're getting into it. Like, they're trying to figure that stuff out. But like, at least in production quality. But then, like, even some of the like the game stuff, it just seemed like they didn't care. It definitely seemed like they were just like, oh, new set's coming out. Go open some packs and play with the new characters on stream or something like that. Where
And I'm sure it'll probably crop up again. It used to be like a running joke that every time they would post an article, they would mess up like half all of the rules in the article.
yeah.
So I mean, like, it was just that type of stuff where it's like, do the people writing these articles know how to play the game? And the answer was probably not really.
Yeah.
And that just kind of like gave you this sense of everybody not being like on the same page.
Yep.
Yeah,
Where it
because your
seems like
PR
they are,
people don't.
which is
Yeah,
crazy.
your PR people,
Yeah.
if they don't know the game, then they need to get in tandem with the designers and the people that do more. But if your PR people are engaged and they know the game, then that's even better because they can answer questions, they can write compelling stuff.
Yep.
They know what they're talking about, and they're not like messing up like basic rules in articles.
Yeah, everyone seems like they've played the game quite a bit, and they talk about during the streams like, well, earlier in the development cycle, this, that, like the changes they made, and how everything feels more balanced when this change. Like they definitely did the homework, you know, like
Even that's more candid than they've been in the past.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a matter of like them finally like realizing Disney's not going to care about, if you talk about, oh, we raised this guy's hit point by 1. I don't know, but like previously they've been like very like hush hush about any of that type of stuff, so you never really got an understanding of maybe what was going on in the design process.
Yeah.
Except
I mean,
for like things that would leak from playtest groups.
literally like every reveal, I go and then check Tyler's Twitter to see if he like shared anything or any insights. He's been doing great about that. And then like the main PR person, like you said, like is Xander, and he was like at Gen Con doing demos. He sat down with Tyler and like mapped out every card release, like where's it going, what's the time frame of it. So I mean, he seems involved, and also just seems like he has the reign to do his job.
Yeah, that's like half of the big thing. It's like, it seemed like a lot of times FFG was hiring someone, whether it was like a organized play director, and then being like, yeah, no, you don't get to make decisions.
Yeah, because who was like Alex Watkins, I think was like one of the previous ones, and it was just like part of it was like, was he terrible or was he just literally not allowed to do his job because he just was constrained. But yeah, so cool. Glad to get that insight. I'll put you down for a case.
I mean, yeah, I got money I'm playing Warhammer 40K. I got money to burn.
Hey, yo.
I got I got a 3D print factory upstairs. I'm just wasting away.
Yeah.
One thing I'm interested to see is make sure that like they probably put a lot of time in like the first set that's coming out. Let's see if that continues because they put a lot of thought in it. And as it goes down, crunch time for like further on sets. Let's see if they don't, oh yeah, we got a good thing going on right now. We don't need X amount of people. We can go to this new project and there's less people, and then the other sets things get left behind and it gets a little out of hand. So that's one thing that I am cautious about.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
yeah.
You only saw it with Destiny, but
exactly. Yeah,
hit the nail on the head with how FFG has done their games. It's always like all hands on deck for the initial release, and then you start to poach people away, and it's always like they always like overstep it.
Yeah,
I am ready to get hurt again.
But it's also crazy to think about. They talked about like 9 design, and I know we mentioned this before, but like 9 designers, crazy. Like at most, Destiny had 3. Like at one point, it was probably like Jeremy, Aaron, and Lucas. We're probably like at one point, I think all 3 of them worked on it together. But it was like that was like kind of the max. And I don't know, talking about 3 different teams designing 3 different waves of stuff, 3 different sets. Like
and they said initially that they're much further along as far as future sets than they've been for previous games. So
that's good.
They have
at
the
very
first
least,
3 like
we won't notice. If they start cannibalizing the team for longer than previous, so that's never a bad thing.
But I love that because that means constant news. Like
in theory.
In theory, yeah, but if they're far along, we're getting cards like so frequently. The hype train will never die.
You imagine the card stuff will slow down because then there's like actual content to make about the content creators can do actual games, can cover events, can like you know, literally right now it's like here's my 50 card deck with all the 50 possible cards I could put in it. Please give us more spoilers so we can play the game more.
Spoiler, please.
Yeah.
And that's great though. I mean, if they feel and I think they feel more open to work with content creators to kind of push for us,
totally.
Like to do the job as well. Like, I don't know. We have the reign now this time too, which feels nice.
Yeah, and
to a degree.
The fact that I feel like, are bringing in a lot of these like big content creators, like having TCG player be the one who talks about like pack distribution and then giving them like a Sabine spoiler, I think was really, really cool. And I think maybe it was IGN, I forget who, GameSpot that did the Han Solo one. Like one of these bigger ones doing, the Han Solo spoiler. Like stuff like that is awesome, right? I'm sure that there's like, oh, it'd be great if we supported the people who made it weekly, but it's like, if we got the biggest spoiler in the game, that would be a waste because we have an audience of like a few hundred, right? Whereas TCG Player putting an article out is going to be thousands of people putting eyes on this. Like
I think it's only 10 people, and we're 4 right
four
here.
of
So
them, right? Scott doesn't
I don't
listen
listen
to
to our
three of
thing. Yeah, I
us.
don't like to hear myself talk that much.
I don't either. Me, not you. I
no,
love listening to you
that's I
talk.
mean that's like the plus side of before with their games it's like Team Covenant would be like their biggest reaching partner.
But that's even an echo chamber, like close to an echo chamber ish. They're still big and they still definitely have a voice of that. But in the height of Destiny, like I don't know, I feel like even Team Covenant was a little contained.
Yeah, no, I mean that's it they have like more of a reach than other content creators, but they're also still like they're still like a game. I don't want to call them just like a game store, a game conglomerate or whatnot, but it's not like a multimedia one, or it's not one that hits like every possible card game, because like a TCG Player, you've got like whatever card game you can sell goes on there, whereas even Team Covenant is like limited in the types of games that they offer sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I was just catch on what we did, expectations of that. So we can almost jump in. They did a live stream this week that broke down the packs. They also posted an article, so we can kind of scroll through that, and then after we scroll through the official one, we can then hop over to TCG Player and see, anything we might have missed for that. So again, this is on StarWarsUnlimited.com article section, and then this one is titled "Boosting Ahead of Release." Let me even zoom in a little bit. So, first reaction, how do you guys like the packaging? I mean, we've seen the packs before, but this is like the first time I think seeing like the package box, especially within its display mode.
I want them to crack one.
I mean, I'm excited that it's just like a booster box that's like this big instead of
I don't know. I kind of am gonna miss like you buy the box and you got this big box. You're like, yeah, this is mine. I got 6 of them. Yeah, this is mine. Now it's like, you can stack it like a pizza pie, and you can have like 20 of them. Okay.
I was trying to see if I could get
pizza pie.
I
don't know.
I have the Destiny box right there, but I was trying to see if I had a Flesh and Blood one to like compare. Yeah,
it's probably like 3 of those can fit into a Destiny box. Like,
I have a
like
One Piece box actually. One
Yeah,
Piece
but
box.
Yeah, I mean, I much prefer. Yeah, I mean, One Piece is traditional. Like the Flesh and Blood is traditional. Like, yeah, just
it's so tiny.
Yeah,
so tiny.
It's perfect.
Nah.
You know what that means?
Figure's always better.
Stores can have more of them without it taking up half their shelf
store.
space.
Yeah, it's not Top Deck games where the whole attic you look up and you just see Star Wars Destiny.
They get the ladder out every time someone's like, Destiny, please, and they're like,
no, but like, but if you were to go to a store and you don't know what, and I want to get into a card game. You look at all the things, you see all the ones that look the same, they're all tiny, whatever. Then you see this big box. Like,
you don't even look at that.
Cool.
That big box doesn't even look like a card game. It looks like you're getting a little toy from that front section of Target where they sell like keychains.
What's wrong with keychains?
I'm like keychains in like booster packs.
That's freaking awesome. I don't know.
It's the same gravity feed.
I hate to compliment Flesh and Blood on literally anything they do. However, I will say that I did love when they did paper packs. And I'm hoping that there is some semblance of maybe down the road that these are paper packs. They look like they're probably plastic packs, but I hope they do eventually take the same route. But the art on them, like they are designed well, I think. I mean, it's a pack. What do you want?
Yep.
Also, I see Thrawn, and that excites me.
Yep.
They look nice, and yeah, I agree with Brian. If there's anything, moving to paper packs was like the best thing that Flesh and Blood did. And anytime that like there's we're doing like a draft, and like say we get like a printing of like something that, or I forget, I think it's like the Japanese printing is still in plastic packs. Anytime you get anything with that, everyone is like repulsed almost, because you go to open your packs and like what is going on?
They were really, really well done, and I like I said, I hate to compliment Legends Season Studios, but Story Studios, but that was great. I think that was great, and I think I would like to see this going forward, and that's maybe down the road, not necessarily right away, but follow the lead. Everything else, though,
If-
I love what FFG is doing. Do not copy LSS.
Yeah, if you're gonna try to cut down on plastic, go Flesh and Blood route, not Lorcana route.
Yes.
Is Lorcana just terrible to open?
Yes.
Well, the
Well, I mean, you can't find it to open it.
the packs are plastic. Like they're still fine, but in their effort to cut down, they didn't like seal it with like
They
plastic.
did a
It's
tab.
It's
a
that
pull tab on the
ripoff.
bottom.
So it's like there were
You could reach
cases
into the
where
packs.
you could almost reach in and like grab a pack out. Yeah.
Horrible.
And they're stocking them in big box stores.
Yep.
Yep. You can even do that for the sleeved booster packs too. Like, I think they had the right idea where they're like, we love the environment, but
Do it Flesh and Blood.
everything they did just kind of flopped, man.
Ravensburgers
like
though is like just a. It almost seems like they're like an early FFG of we're a board game company. Here's our CCG
Yeah.
that's huge. I don't a big IP.
Yep,
Uh,
that's fine.
That's just-
Yeah,
Yikes. This though, I like this.
um,
yeah,
good.
It looks nice.
Side
like
note
the
on
red
the
and black.
box. On the other side is Jin Urso in like the like black Imperial gear that she uses when they infiltrate the base. So
Okay.
maybe we get a Jin card that doesn't mean anything, right? The 3 packs, like that is Lei as a leader, but that's Chewie as a unit. We don't know what Thrawn is. On the side we see Akbar, that's a unit. So Jin could also be a unit, could be a leader. Possibilities are
Could
unlimited.
even be a boat.
Oh, possibilities are unlimited.
But going through the article, it starts off, it says, time to talk about Star Wars Unlimited booster packs. While many of you are eager to jump into this game of unlimited possibilities, there may be a few of you who are wondering what it is you will find when you crack open a pack. Well, that's exactly what we're looking at today, so without further ado, let's examine the contents of a booster pack and the relative rarities of a card within. So they start off, boom, the image right there. There are 16 cards in a pack. Among those 16, one is guaranteed to be a leader, another is guaranteed to be a base, with an experience or a shield token on the other side of it. And that leaves 14 cards remaining that are pulled from a pool of standard, non-leader, non-base, non-token cards. 16. That might be the most of any game I've played.
Those packs are going to be THICCC.
I think
Who's
Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
I think Flesh and Blood with the token has 16.
16, okay. Yeah, I mean, it'll be exciting. I mean, you know, Destiny had 5. This has much more than that.
16. One
So we
token.
We
Yes,
know
yeah.
that leaders at any rarity, but we right now know that the rarities for leaders are only common and rare.
Correct. But that
Okay.
that first slot would be like if you get a rare leader in your pack, it would just be in that leader slot. It wouldn't be
In leader slot, yeah.
in the rare slot. Yeah.
No, but so in the future we could have leaders of a legendary rarity, but so in theory, in a given pack, you could get 3 rare cards because your foil, your leader, and your rare could all be
They stated you can get 3 legendary cards in a pack on the stream.
Yeah, because it could be the legendary slot, it could be the hyperspace slot, and then it could be the foil slot, right? Where the
What's
3
the hyperspace slot?
So
I'm glad
here-
you asked, Scott.
So, reading through, outside of the cards that are exclusive to the starter decks, the cards in the game are divided into 4 rarities: common, uncommon, rare, legendary. In each booster pack, you will find 9 common, 3 uncommon, and then 1 rare or legendary. But you may notice that only adds up to 13. Add in the lead card and base, you got 15. So what's the last card? The final card in the pack is a foil, which will be a full version of any card in the set that can appear in a booster pack. And this foil card can be of any rarity, which means you could lock into a second rare or legendary. However, foil cards are not only the variants that can appear in the packs, there's also a small chance that any of the cards in the pack are hyperspace variants, which gives them a special alternative frame that shows off more of the artwork. And here they show us Akbar. And you see it just
So
extends.
Wallet
outward.
is screaming out in agony.
So based on that, you can still only have 2 legendaries in a pack. One of your legendaries just might be a hyperspace.
They said 3.
Was
if I
it,
remember right, they said
so
3.
rare legendary hyperspace cards are the ones that show up in the uncommon, which means the rare legendary slot will always be a standard version. So this is
So
some
there's-
other stuff. This is notes that I see from somewhere that I kind of have on my side. So that means if you
Yeah.
pull a legendary hyperspace card, it's going to show up in the uncommon slot, which you still could get a legendary in that.
Okay, so it's one of the uncommon slots is a possible hyperspace slot.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not as if like one of your 9 commons could be a hyperspace card. It's one of your 3 uncommons could be a hyperspace card of any rarity.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense and is not necessarily.
So for clarity, what was it again? It was the hyperspace in the uncommon slot that could be legendary. You could just pull a straight legendary, and then you could get a foil legendary. Is that what the 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be 3 legendaries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
The back half of the pack.
yeah, the showcase doesn't matter because unless there's a legendary leader, the showcase is always going to be leader, which would mean it was in your front pack. Or if you get a showcase card, it is always going to be in the leader slot.
Yeah. So we're looking here is if you're looking at like chase cards, you're probably looking at your foil, anything foil hyperspace, even commons. Then you're probably looking at your hyperspace legendaries.
Yep.
And maybe even your hyperspace rares, but probably just your hyperspace legendaries and then your showcase cards.
Yep. And
then your foil legendaries. Foil legendaries are probably
always going to be
just in general.
Yeah. All right, so that's the breakdown of that. Any card in a pack can be a hyperspace variant, including leaders and bases. So we also anybody. Do I still have them? Yeah. So these, I believe, are considered the hyperspace, the Gen Con promos, because it is just an extension of the art as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an idea of what a leader might look like if you are curious of that.
Now, if you get a hyperspace leader, would it be in the uncommon slot or would it just be in the leader slot?
Any card in a pack can be a hyperspace variant. So I assume it just would be like if you get a leader and it's hyperspace, I think it would just be in the leader slot. Because you can't get a leader in any other slot.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Which sounds good to me. I mean, obviously because it would be hyperspace would be nice, but you're gonna have so many leaders that it would feel bad if 2 leaders take up a slot. But I guess if it is hyperspace.
Well, if it wants a hyperspace, you're not really all that miffed about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Although there will be that person that's like, "Ugh, I got an unplayable card in my pack."
Yeah. The nice part is that this makes every card within the pack worth looking through, right? There's not like the skip the first 15 cards. What's the 16th? Is it a legendary, whatever? Any card within that could be hyperspace, which is cool.
Do a quick fan out,
Well, yeah, of course.
No, you don't want to do that. You got to do it one at a time.
No.
We're impatient.
Instant gratification.
At first box, yes. Second, third, fourth. How big is a case?
No.
5, 6? Yeah, no shot. No shot. Definitely on 6.
Oh my god.
I'm throwing those cards around, dude. These leader cards, get them out of here. I already got everybody.
I am
And
never
there
going to
are
financially
24
recover
packs
from
in the
this.
box, right?
I don't.
Yeah.
Was that confirmed?
It's on the front of the
It says it on
box,
the
no?
box.
Oh yeah, it's on the box.
Yeah.
Confirmed on the box.
On the box of the. I noticed
We're
the Jin
looking at-
art. I did not notice the 24.
So in any given box, you're going to have 24 foil cards. You're going to have roughly 3 legendary cards. Now, it says approximately 1 in 8 packs, so that's their way of saying that it's not necessarily guaranteed that you're going to get 3. You could get more, you could get less.
Yep.
Approximately 2 hyperspace per 3 packs. So you're looking at 16 hyperspace cards in a box, give or take.
Yeah. The
Yes.
hyperspace,
Yeah,
15. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get likely 1, maybe 2. Is right essentially what that kind of is.
And hyperspace cards, you're going to get like 1 in 15. So it's
Hyperspace
like 1
rare legendary. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, that means like your hyperspace cards, you're gonna get 16 of them. One of which is going to be likely a hyperspace rare / legendary, and you maybe get a second one.
Which is
And
good
then-
because that almost ups the curve of legendaries to 4, right? Is that how that would work? Because base legendaries are 1 in 8 packs, so you would get 3, and then if you now get a 4.
I don't think that's the way the conversion would work exactly because they're lumping in hyperspace rare and legendary. Did they provide in that little follow up exactly what like the breakdown of what a hyperspace legendary would be?
So let me just read. So Danny went into the Discord and said these 2 things. Did not see this till after the live stream, but wanted to hop in and clarify the 1 in 8 ratio for legendaries to rare. does not hold for foil and hyperspace. In general, the rarity spread is a bit more compressed for foil than non-foil. Showcase cards are rarer than hyperspace foil legendaries. And then he comes in and says, bear in mind these are rough/approximate numbers, but it's around 1 in 200 for a foil hyperspace legendary. It is 1 in 65 for a foil hyperspace rare. It is 1 in 70 for a foil legendary, and it is 1 in 10 for a foil rare. I don't know if that clears anything up of what you were.
A little bit.
So what that says to me is you're going to be buying singles for your legendaries.
Likely, but I mean, I think it could end up in something where, like, you know, Brian, you could think about even One Piece, like some of the super rares, which are essentially the highest.
Secret rare.
Secret rare, yeah, but still, like, even those are like $10 to $15 a card. Some of them can get a little bit more expensive, of like 20 to 30 of that.
Well, then you throw the whole hyperspace and
but that's what I mean, like similar with that.
Yeah,
there's
it's going to vary.
There's the alt arts, there's the foil, like there's some other stuff within that as well. So
do we know how many legendaries are going to be in the set?
No,
I don't think so.
They haven't.
And
what is it?
What is it? Cards in the deck. It's how many copies?
53 copies.
3 copies.
So I mean, because what do they have now? Home 1 is 1, right? Bulba is 1. Command and Vigilance.
Something like yeah.
So I mean, if you figure they're probably going to have 1 for each of the other aspects that aren't heroism and ability.
I mean, yeah, you get like a 200. What was it? The set was like 224 or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if there's around like 15 legendaries, 16 legendaries, maybe.
I'm never gonna financially recover from this.
Just don't get every card.
Stop right there.
And even if you do get every card,
I
you
know
don't need every
myself.
hyperspace card.
No, stop.
He's going to need showcases of everything.
Stop.
So
1 in 12 boxes.
Stop.
So let's show those off a little bit too. So
That's
there's
so
a even
gorgeous.
rare variant exclusive to leader cards. So these are only leader cards, and this is the showcase variant. If you played Lorcana, this is very much like the. I already forget the name.
Enchanteds.
Enchanteds. I want to say Majestics. The Enchanteds, which features an alternate art, a unique frame, and a special foil treatment all in one. Count yourself lucky if you manage to pull one of them. These are elusive. They are few and far between. I believe the breakdown was 1 in 12 boxes for them. But as you can see here, Leia on the left is just her common card, and then on the right is her leader card that is a showcase. These look amazing. These I absolutely look fantastic, and I don't know. It's not in this article. Did they post it somewhere else? Oh, so in the TCG one here, let me zoom in a little bit. You also then see the leader side as well, which also looks fantastic.
Yeah.
These cards are going to be hard, especially if I pull one of a leader that I like. These are going to be hard to sell, but they probably will end up in the same range as the Enchanteds or whatever.
Enchanteds, for the record, range anywhere from $2 to about $800.
I was more so saying before the scarcity skyrocketed. Like before, it was like Elsa was probably the most expensive at like 300, and it wouldn't surprise me if this ends up around. the same.
I wouldn't look at any of the prices for Lorcana now, because if Unlimited has the same scarcity issues, they're in trouble.
Yep.
Just from the standpoint of it's going to
It's
cause
FFG.
problems.
Fifth strike's the punishment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine the top end, some of these cards will be around like 200, 300. Some of the worst leaders, you can get around 100, 75, anywhere around like that.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, they just have to be at that drop rate. Because you're looking, if you think about Flesh and Blood with like legendaries, they're like 1 in 4, 1 in 4-ish boxes, and then you got a chance of the rainbow foil versus cold foil. Like minimum cold foil legendaries, which are not as rare as these showcase cards, go for 80-ish bucks or something like that. That's even for the unplayables.
Mm-hmm.
And
Silver Palms.
Yeah, your Silver Palms is of the world. Although they did talk about PvE recently.
Bro,
Jack's
they've
coming
been saying-
back.
I pulled that card, and you guys like, oh, PvE's coming, and it's still not there.
I keep on pushing it back. Hey, they're doing a set where it's all mechanologists, baby.
I did see that. I have been looking at those cards. Won't be getting
I
into
never.
But I
I
love
never
Sea
want to
Dash.
praise them for anything they do. Not warranted.
But Silver Palms, I would praise. No.
But silver bombs. We love silver bombs.
No,
They
these
gave.
look,
I mean, the gold foil silver palms that they gave out at events for like ultimate pit fight winning, like that thing sells for like $1,200.
well, that yeah, I feel like stuff like that, like even in One Piece, like you could see these bang average cards, but it says winner championship, like winner
Yep.
pre-release, and now the price is like 10 times what it was.
$2,000. Yeah.
So I like this a lot. It definitely, I'm a little worried to like what Brian said. We'll see like how collection plays out. A little worried of like, sometimes it could feel bad of what you pull 3 a box. Like, if it ends up at 15 legendaries, that could be a decent amount of cards you're looking at. But like I said, you'll be able to skip out on some of them because
I mean,
legendary doesn't equal power.
I mean, some of the legendaries that we've seen so far, they're like big. They're big stuff. They're like high cost curve things. So you might not necessarily want to be running, 3-ofs.
Yeah, especially
Like,
the 4 like aspect ones. Like right now, like if I don't pull a vigilance, if I don't pull a command, I think I'm okay. We'll see how those, when we have a full set. But like the double aspect green, double aspect blue,
Yeah.
double red,
Those are inherently very niche. You might run 3 of them in a deck that you're designing around it, but that's not going to be a card that gets splashed into a deck.
especially at start, right? Maybe later in the game where there's more double aspect cards, and it's like, oh, it is kind of worth it to run a blue hero and a blue base, but we are not. We are not there.
Yeah.
And I doubt we will be there after the full set spoils too.
I'm like going back and forth in my mind between what I want to do come release. Like, what I'm doing with One Piece right now is I bought a box of each set, except for the first set because it's impossible to find an MSRP. And I honed in on one deck I want to play. And I think that there's a difference between One Piece and Star Wars, where like for Star Wars, I feel like I want to play a set of everything.
I'm a case.
But that's just
probably,
gonna get-
at least
Yeah, I mean a case makes sense, but
case
then
and
like
drafts, and if I get singles or the packs during the week, I'm more excited than Destiny, right, dude? Hey, I can always hold on to the copium. I'm gonna pull a showcase.
the nuts. But I feel like maybe it makes more sense, and I'm never like a guy that wants to make sense, but I feel like it makes maybe more sense to pick what you want and then buy for that. And then hold out for the price to come down. Like if you want to be reasonable, legendaries I think are going to be hard to come by. Like a playset of these legendaries are going to be hard to find.
Like if you buy a playset of, if you mean like a playset of every legendary, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the ones you want, right? If let's say there's 15, 16 legendaries in this game, in this first set alone, and you're buying a case, which is maybe 4, 5, 6 boxes, you're gonna have what, maybe 18 of them? Maybe that doesn't guarantee you're gonna get one per, however many packs it was.
Yeah, but if
Um,
the amount of boxes being open, I don't think it's not like it's. I don't think they're gonna be crazy expensive. I think the best ones at high end are gonna be $40, and on average they'll be around 20 or something.
but it adds up. I mean, it adds up. I mean, it adds up quick. As someone,
Depending
just-
on,
we just bought into a new game, and it adds up. I mean, like
No, if you're
This is the
going
same
for,
thing.
yeah. Again, what Scott said, if you're buying every single legendary, then yes, it's gonna add up. No matter what game you're playing, though.
I want to.
I don't
That's
think
that's
you're
my
gonna get,
problem.
I don't think you're going to get legendary prices to the rate like with, say Majestics in Flesh and Blood, where there are multiple per box, but there are like 6 to 8 per box. You get some Majestics that are staple Majestics for that, given class, and they're still only like $3-4. I don't think you're going to see that with these legendaries because there's only 3-4-ish per box.
Yeah.
You're that to me just says like, all right, so there's 3-4-ish per box, whereas Majestics are 6 to 8-ish per box in Flesh and Blood. All right, well, if the minimum price in Flesh and Blood's like $4 for something, you got to at least double it to 10, like 8, 9, 10.
Let's compare this to a good game. Do you think what's harder to buy into, right? Star Wars Destiny or Star Wars Unlimited? Like, what do we think is harder to buy into? I mean, at the current time, we
This-
don't know what the price is for.
Star Wars Unlimited is
box.
going to be more expensive simply because it's a 50 card deck.
So
like,
you just
yeah,
need
they-
more cards. Yep.
You just need more
Yeah.
cards. You need more copies of cards. But the main difference is like one of the problems with Star Wars Destiny is you hit that limit of like where opening product felt like even remotely
You lost value.
good / valuable.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see like if we were able to get like a full set, because I remember Destiny, we would open up like a case and then go through a few events and we'd have every single card that there was. Then you're like, okay, you're going to weeklies. You get the other ones you're missing. You trade for a few that you get 3, you get a third one of. Someone else's third one of. You trade, you're good to go. This one, it feels like it's more going to be like you're going to be doing the trading to play a few decks you want, but you're not going to, by the end of the set, you're not going to have every single card.
Yeah,
or,
that's
or a play set of every single card.
And if you have a store doing like PAX's prizing for Destiny was like, oh, cool, great, fantastic.
Did I get store credit this time?
Yeah, I'll take
At least, yes, yeah, that's kind of how it was. Whereas,
Yeah.
If with this PAX for prizing,
It's
probably
worth the
gonna seem a
gamble
little
because
bit
you can
more.
get that really nice card that you can sell for a lot of money if you wanted to.
I mean, if you buy a case, though, I imagine commons, uncommons, and rares, you'll probably have a playset of.
I was also thinking, like, comparing to Destiny, like, I have a lot of cards that were unused that are still sitting in a bunch of boxes, like, full of them. It's like, we're getting what? There's 16? Holy, there's going to be a lot of cards.
Yeah,
A
I mean, you're a
lot.
leader. You're getting a leader per one.
Holy.
And, I mean, at
24 liters a box
So I also feel like we're going to have a lot of
most,
extras. You're getting...
there's 3, 6,
times 4 to 6
there's-
case.
Yeah.
At most,
Oh
there's
yeah,
probably 24
you're gonna have a box that you might as well just throw in the trash.
Yeah. But also I feel like there's, to get people into the game, if you have a friend you want to get in the game, there's going to be a lot of extra cards to give off to start off with.
I mean,
You're going to have a lot of like, the leaders and...
if you're doing a draftable game, you have to have the base and the leader.
But I also
in a
hope
pack.
they kind of do something like Flesh and Blood, where there's like the tokens are just brought. Like I could see a world where like in Unlimited, you have to draft a leader, but then the token base like anybody could just grab or something like that. I don't know, something to make it a little bit more accessible than like, I don't know. You open your pack and you have to draft a leader or base. Like, I don't know. To me, that kind of feels bad.
I mean, do we know how many packs are going to be in a draft?
3 and 6. 3 for draft, 6 for sealed is.
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure what they said.
You're going to be able to get a leader. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible to not get stuck with one.
Bro, I'm gonna hate draft
The base.
every leader. My whole deck's gonna be. I don't know. I was happy with that in Flesh and Blood, and then like One Piece when we did the pre-release, you could bring any leader from any previous set, which kind of like felt weird because then there's like clear leaders who you know are good in draft, so you just bring them and run them.
Yeah, I mean, I want my draft sets to be as self-contained as possible. So whether that means like you've got the tokens like in Flesh and Blood, but being like, oh, you can bring any leader from any previous set, that's just like, that gets a little silly, especially if they're ever going to release leaders that are of like legendary rarity. Then you're like, you've
Here's
got
my
a
list.
price barrier to your draft.
Yeah. And even like Unlimited, like with there being common, like if every base was just 30 cost and a color, then like you probably could do that where you throw all the tokens in, all the bases in. But now that there's like the 25 health and rare bases, I'm pretty sure they're rare.
I mean, I think it's going to make the draft experience more interesting. About like, it's kind of like a fantasy football thing. Like, all right, do you take a quarterback? Like, you need a quarterback, you only need one. But do you take one early, or do you take one like later and you fill out your team with a bunch of running backs before then?
Yeah.
Which, to me, that would be like the cards that you're actually going to play.
The base was rare, by the way.
The what?
Energy conversion lab is rare.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. Any of the like epic action ones so far, because there's a blue one too. There's a give a shield one, and there's a give an ambush one for green.
Yes, security complex.
Yeah.
On Scarif is also rare.
And they're also, it was spoiled in the Game Genic preview. I think Scott, you even posted that earlier, but if you paid attention,
I did, yeah.
base that was in there was Hoth, which was not yet spoiled yet, and that just seemed like it was a green generic but hero centered one.
I mean, the fact that their aesthetic line is actually producing things for this game is like a pretty cool thing too. Right off the bat, that deck box looks cool.
Yeah, I'll be grabbing that double deck box and a set tokens. Absolutely. But I don't
Alright.
know if there's anything that we didn't cover on.
No, it was a short stream.
Yeah. And even TCG Player touches a little bit on draft and sealed. Brings questions that, given that leaders are mandatory, how will FFG guarantee players can make a legal deck out of random boosters? And they talk about the one being in that. So yeah. I mean, there's a little bit longer article. I didn't really read into that as much, the TCG Player, as much as I did by the Star Wars Unlimited one, but in there you can definitely see some demos. You see the Legendary 1 and 8 packs, Hyperspace 2 and 3, Hyperspace, all that stuff. Dude, the foil Hyperspace, I don't know if you looked at that, but it's Vigilance. The foil Hyperspace Legendary for that case. Vigilance looks sick. These full arts are going to look good. But yeah, like Scott even said, some of this stuff you could get the foil of a card, that foil or the Hyperspace variant that you want, you sell that, and then you buy the cheaper non-foil, non-Hyperspace, and that's a way to get a playset, right? So there's options in there.
It's an exercise in willpower.
Yeah, that's an exercise that you fail.
Every time.
Yeah.
Brian's gonna
time.
end up with a playset. I don't know how he's gonna find a way to end up with a playset.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Selling
gonna keep
plasma,
buying. But I mean,
plasma
yeah,
and other bodily fluids.
there's gonna be good legendaries that are gonna cost a little bit more, and there's gonna be your Gantus and your Takas, and there's gonna be your Elsas and your
Yeah.
Rapunzels. Like even just
All of that is
Takas.
Greek to me. I have no idea what you're just saying.
There are your Darth Vaders and ancient lightsabers and your 4-speeds, and then there are your Greedos,
Super
And-
laser
and
siege cannons.
Callus's blaster.
Yep, Alex
And-
bow rifle.
And the wheel bike.
The
whoa,
wheel
whoa,
bike.
Tommy will fight you.
$2.50.
The wheel bike.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be those cases. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't look at it as like I have to spend 20 on every single legendary per card. There's gonna be some that are cheaper. There's, on average, if you pull them all, I think they'll be around 20 a card or something like that. But 20, 25.
Another
We'll
great
see.
stream.
Yeah.
I
So
think.
next week, I just had it pulled up, but I exited out because I want to look at the other comments. But the pinned for September 27th. Get ready to unleash unlimited possibilities. Join lead game designer Danny Schaefer, product strategy Jim Cartwright, and host Josh Macy as they look at the different products that will launch for a certain upcoming game, including details such as contents, price, organized play, and more. So we'll learn out how much a pack costs, what exactly is coming out, what organized play might look like. All great things, and I still have to laugh that these descriptions we'll take a look at different products for a certain upcoming game. Wonder what it's going to be. But they keep labeling it like that, which makes me laugh. But next week should be really good and also help tail end some of the questions that we have coming out of this week's
I
stream.
saw a lot of people like, well, what about the price of each of the packs?
Yeah. Because all we know now is there's a booster box, right? The standard booster box. We don't know how many's in a case. And then the other thing that we know is that there's a starter, 2-player starter. So the two things that we know exist. So maybe there's something else that we don't know about, right? I don't know. Could be potentially something else flares up if they're talking about that. But we'll see. All right. Any other thoughts on packs?
You?
I just want to say that the streams continue to be of quality,
WW.
despite how short this one was. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
still knocking it out of the park, and they seem really enjoying it and excited to be there. And it's keeping the hype alive.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we'll roll on into spoilers. All right, so we'll I'll take turns. If you're all look at the screen, I'll kick off. And
Yep, go for it.
this is a one-cost upgrade called Resilient. It is a blue aspect, single blue aspect icon, and it's an upgrade. Gives +0 attack but +3 defense. Seems fine. I could see it being in certain decks, right? This going on a Sentinel or a unit that is very impactful on the board that has, slap this on Dodonna so he lives longer. Slap this on Chewbacca, who's a Sentinel, lives on. Whether or not it makes the cut in 50 cards, don't know. But seems fine.
Have we seen much in the way of cards that heal your units? I know we've seen a lot of cards that heal bases.
I believe the only two are the pay 1, heal 3 from a unit, and then there's it binds all things, which is pay 2. Let's scroll on down. Yeah, pay 2, heal
Yeah,
up to 3
fine.
damage from a unit. If you control a force unit, you may deal that much damage to another unit. So I believe those are the 2 healing cards.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so I don't see much from that angle of like, throwing resilient on something to keep it alive longer to heal it up. But yeah, on certain I guess sentinel units, if you can get them over like a kind of like a break point.
Yeah.
Like a relevant break point for what you're expecting your opponent's like next drop to be, so you're absorbing 2 attacks, that would be the thing.
Did you guys mention the surgical droid, or no?
Oh, sure, right. When he attacks, you heal
Surgical
1.
droid on attack, heal 2 damage from another unit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the best source of healing.
Yeah.
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 Give that. It's a 1/3.
Yep.
Give
Yeah,
give that
and
3 more.
it's on
So now it's a
all on the same
1/6,
color.
1 cost. So you
Well, you
spend 2,
wouldn't-
you get a 1/6
Well, no,
basically.
you wouldn't put it on the droid.
Yeah, you wouldn't put it necessarily on the
True.
because
Yeah.
it's got to heal another unit.
Oh yeah, true. But still.
I mean, yeah. Hey, it can maybe keep your leader on the board longer.
Yeah, like if you can get this on Luke, on Vader, on whoever, make him live longer, seems pretty good. All right, who wants the next one? Not all at once now.
I
I
can't
got it.
pronounce. I
I
can't
got
pronounce
it.
the name.
It's got
So
Admiral Piet. He is a unit ground, green black. I always forget what they mean. Uncommon card. He is the captain of the Executor. 2 cost, 1 attack, 4 health with Imperial official keywords. Each friendly non-leader unit that costs 6 or more gains ambush. So basically, Star Destroyers, things of that nature. That's, I mean, at 2 costs, that's pretty potent, and for the late game especially, because when you start getting into that realm where maybe you can drop him and a 6 in the same round, that's going to be big. And he's got 4 health, so he might take a little bit more from your opponent to remove than they're comfortable doing. So you're probably going to at least get like at least one play, even if your opponent is actively pursuing like getting him off the board. An ambush on big things seems powerful.
Yep, I think the wombo combo people have talked about so far, pointed out, is something with overwhelm, which would currently be like Palpatine or ATSD, right? Ambush, go in, boom, boom, boom.
Because with ambush, you have to attack a unit.
Yeah, you can't ready and attack the base.
You can't face it.
Yeah.
So overwhelm is your only way that you're going to get that like sneaky kill. But still having ambush on your 6 cost stuff is a way to really like swing tempo. So it's almost like you drop Piet and your opponent has to get them off the table, otherwise they're just going to get eaten by action economy.
Although Palpatine could actually screw you there, which is funny, right? If you play Palpatine and you wipe out their board, then you don't actually get ambush from them.
No, you just gotta be careful about it.
You're still okay with that. All right, and then so actually, I want to also note that Resilient, Piet, and then this next card are all the last 3 cards of the starter, the Vader Luke starter deck.
Okay.
So we have the full play set or playlist, play card, whatever
I
revealed.
think Piet looks like the Red Skull to me.
Bro, you put
I don't know.
the Tesseract.
Tesseract. Looks like
Yeah.
the Red Skull, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, the Empire is a Nazi allegory, so that's kind of
works out. Adds up.
Yep.
Yeah. Flock should read this one.
Yeah, this is nice and easy. Flock, you got this. This is the last
I
of the
got-
3.
this looks pretty easy. So we got recruit. It's an event, 1 cost, green. And it says search the top 5 cards of your deck for a unit, reveal it, and draw it. Put the other cards on the bottom of the deck in a random order.
You're
Good
the
card
one that
draw
ran it,
for
Flock.
1.
You gotta talk.
Yeah, it's good card draw for 1. I like it.
feels like a starter deck card.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say I like playing One Piece a little bit. I've kind of grown to like the play a card, search a card, but most of those are like you play a unit onto the board that can do something, and then you search. Just paying 1 to straight up search feels terrible.
I mean, yeah, a cantrip is fantastic,
Yeah.
but this is a cantrip that doesn't do anything. It just gets you 1 card deeper for 1 resource.
And
But
you
it's
can
definitely a starter. It's a starter deck card to help out the curve in the starter deck, so you have units to play.
Yep.
Cool art though. I like the poster.
Agreed.
I think the art on Resilient is actually pretty cool too. Like, the styling. I think the styling works, especially when you have something that isn't the person in the picture as well. So like any of these where you got a vehicle along with the thing, or the next card we're going to preview, you got the the battle chart. It makes the artwork a little bit better, I think.
Brian, you want to take the next one?
Yep. Next we have Colonel Yularen. He's a ground unit. 2 cost green. He's hits for 2, has 3 health. Keywords are Imperial Official. When you play a green unit, including this one, heal damage from your base. It looks like Colonel Sanders.
I mean, Colonel Yularen does look like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
Yeah. I remember when he came out in Destiny, we called him Colonel Sanders too. He's cool. I like him. I think that's for the cost, it makes sense, and it only has benefits after. So I like this card. Solid. Is it the best card in green? No, but pretty good.
Can help.
I mean,
you
you're
get to
gonna
those
need 2
cards.
costers. You're gonna need
Yeah.
things at the low end of the cost curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean,
it
comparing it
seems
to like Piet,
pretty good. Yeah,
think- on the same page, I think.
you can
I
view
would
it as
say.
a restore a little bit too, right? Those green ones are trying to get to the end. So if you play him for 2, he heals 1, and you play another unit,
Yep.
another green unit heals 2. Like it seems like it's value out of him,
I like him.
And
and he's neutral by the way. As
you
well.
can cash him in. You can cash him in on stuff. You just wait until after you've played your unit for that round, and then you get that extra 1 value.
Yeah.
Presuming that they're hitting your base at all.
Yeah, like dropping him turn 1, right? You're not going to get value out of his initial play, but
Yep.
there could be stuff. But he also does seem fine to just drop on curve as well.
Yeah,
Like-
2-3 seems good. I mean, seems like it would trade with stuff pretty well.
Yeah, he's definitely like under the curve of like some other things, right? Like the stormtroopers could just one shot him, but I mean, I wouldn't not play him because I'm concerned about something like that, unless they just maybe jam the stormtrooper and then claim or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, he's not an immediate threat.
Yeah, he's not trying. He almost seems like he's just trying to help you get to that late game with more than 5 health left on your base type thing, so you can play your relentless, play your Palpatines, etc. All right, next up we have one of the rare bases we were talking about, the Energy Conservation Lab. It has 25 health. It's a base, and it has an epic action on it. It says play a
Conversion.
unit.
Energy conversion. Conversation.
With conversation. The Energy Conversation Lab, where everybody gets together and talks about energy. in
You
the
said
lab.
conservation, not conversation. Sorry.
I tilted my head. Play a unit that costs 6 or less from your hand. Give it ambush for this phase. Still not like crazy impressed on these. This one you probably could convince me more of it being more impactful than the blue one, which is epic action, give a shield. And reminder, epic actions are once a game. So you're sacrificing 5 health for the one opportunity to give a 6 or less cost ambush, which is ready and attack something. So this could really swing the tempo of a game, especially in a deck like, I'm thinking more so Leia or even Tarkin, right, are both coming out to be kind of more aggressive decks. I think it could be really good, but
Yeah, this one, I mean, 5 health for this is much more palatable seeming than a shield because, you're really talking about some like powerful units that you're dropping in the end game, like dropping dropping a home 1.
6 or less though.
6 or
Oh,
less.
6 or less.
ATSD.
I'm looking at the other way around. Yeah.
The other battleship that was the Gladiator Star Destroyer would be
Yep.
a good one here.
Bro, pair it with Piet. Bro, everything could get ambushed. Not everything. 1 6 or less could get ambushed, and then all of your 6 or more can get ambushed.
Yeah,
Boba
I think this like closes out games.
So you could basically like attack with a unit and then use the epic action to ready them and then attack again.
No. You play.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's on the play.
unit. Yeah.
Ambush is only relevant when
Okay.
you get played.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better. I mean, I don't know how much it closes game at like 6 or less is more so like keeping tempo of you being able to control the board because you're probably trying to close within 6 or less resources.
Yeah, like if they've dropped a sentinel unit that's now walling off your swarm of stuff.
Yep.
This is your way of kind of getting it off the table and not losing the entire turn of attacks.
But is it worth 5?
I think it could. I mean, like an instance like
If-
that. Yeah.
If you're playing an aggro deck, it's like if your base is in peril, you're kind of already losing.
Yeah.
Like if your base is getting attacked and you're in an aggro deck, unless you're playing like aggro and aggro, at that point it's like kind of one of those situations of if your opponent is not having to control your board, you're already behind the sticks.
But if you play a 25 health base and run into Sabine, you might be a little sad. Since she'll ping you a bunch.
Yeah.
But we could also see what aggression and cunning bring for their rare bases. But yeah, I mean, I like it more than the blue one. Still think I'm probably running the 30 cost, but the ambush is definitely opens plays, especially once you get the full set. All right, next, who is reading the next one, I think?
Scott.
Scott, the next one.
I'm reading the next one. Woo. Death Trooper. It is a unit ground, 3 cost, blue-black, 3 attack, 3 health, so nice rounded, very rounded stats. Imperial Trooper. When played, deal 2 damage to a friendly ground unit and 2 damage to an enemy ground unit. So this will help you kill your, what's-his-face?
Mahdi.
Mahdi, kill your own Mahdi. Could help you pair up with your rugged survivors, which get additional attack for each damage they have on them, right?
Rugged Survivor. Yeah, and they draw a card or something when they attack.
They draw a card on attack if you have a leader, but they get +1/+0 for
grit.
each
Yeah,
damage on
grit.
it. So.
Yep.
Anything with grit, obviously being able to like deal 2 damage to an enemy ground unit is also pretty good. So really just depends on how much you can leverage the 2 damage that you're having to deal to yourself. Like if you can't leverage that this is not good.
Yeah. And also the, I guess, bonus synergy of like pairing it with Krennic. Krennic gives +1 to damage units, so
Yep.
there's a little bit of synergy there as well.
It makes sense. You know, he really he likes those death troopers of his.
Yeah. And worst case with him, Death Trooper could be like a 4/1 that deals 2 when played, right? Like if it's the only unit, it has to deal to itself.
Yep.
But with him, could be that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Death Trooper is like a fine card. There definitely could be situations where it might feel bad to play, but I think overall, I think it'll be positive on this.
Trying to look if anything else has grit.
Chewbacca leader, right? I think he has grit.
All right, hey, that works.
Pay 5 for this.
I'm sure there'll be other things since it is a keyword.
Yeah. All right. Who's got the next one?
I think I'm up.
Ooh, a lot of words on here.
Dude, I know. So we got Agent Callus. Unit ground, 5 cost green. He's a 4/4 Imperial Trooper. With ambush, after you play this unit, you may ready and attack an enemy unit. And when another unique unit is defeated, you may draw a card. Use this ability only once each round. Now I gotta reread it so I can understand what it says.
So-
I like it.
Important thing to note: he does not have to be the one doing the killing,
Yep.
and then also it does not have to be something that you are killing.
Yep.
It can be one of your own units.
Yep. If there's like a unique sentinel or something, you get on the board that your opponent has to go through when that thing dies.
Or you
draw
have
a
an
card.
Admiral Mahdi that you're killing off yourself.
Yep. Yeah, force choke your own Admiral Mahdi to draw a card off the force choke and off of Callus. Boom.
Pretty good.
You're welcome. There's the meta.
Play a Death Trooper. kill an Admiral Mahdi.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it does seem like a very good ability because, the ability to trigger it. It's probably going to happen until they kill him.
Yeah. I mean, he's like undercosted for 5. But I mean, yeah, the draw ability is something that you're naturally doing anyways. You're
Do you mean understated or undercosted?
so understated. Yeah, the 4/4,
Okay.
like 4 attack, 4 health, understated. But the fact that you can draw by just naturally doing what you're probably going to try to do anyways, of trying to take some of the important pieces.
And
off
I
the
think
board.
he's not naturally
ambush.
going to be understated because he has ambush.
Yeah, ambush and the draw mechanic as well. The two, both of them. Like I would be concerned if he came out and he was a 5/5 or 5/6 or whatever.
Yeah, that
like,
would just
holy
be-
crap.
All right, who gets the next one?
I do.
That's Brian.
It's funny how that works.
You want to do the
Asian
leader side
Callus
first?
is awesome. Yeah, I'm just saying my piece about Asian Callus. I think he's great. So the leader side for the next card, Sabine Wren is a red leader, red heroism. Action is exhaust, deal 1 damage to each base. Epic action is you control 4 or more. Deploy this leader, and then the leader unit ground comes out at 4, hits for 2, has 5 health / willpower. Mandalorian Rebel Spectre on attack, deal damage to each enemy base. I think that this card will only get better as the set is revealed because, like we talked about earlier, the red cards that we have are kind of few and far between. I think that red is going to be pretty crazy when it does actually get revealed. But this card looks good to me. But I think, like I said, it's only going to get better.
This is going to be the most expensive showcase card. You want to
Art
know
on
why?
it is fantastic.
You want to know why? Waifu tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Art's also going to be different too, Brian. Keep that in mind for the
I
showcase.
mean, I like the art for this one straight up. I think
Yeah.
They knocked it out of the park
I
with
bet
this
you
one.
do, Brian. I bet you do.
I love Sabine.
I bet you do.
I love
I
playing
love
One
Sabine.
Piece card game, man. It's just the art's great. The card art is really good.
I chose a male leader.
Nami.
I am playing Nami, so
Yeah.
But I'm definitely thinking this is the waifu tax card.
Yeah.
Is it?
Both Jack and I.
Well, no. I was like, is that the only female leader so far? But we have Leia. as
Leia.
well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, one thing I remember from us playing it is she comes out quick. Like
Yeah,
the game goes on. It's just like Jack was playing, and all of a sudden, like, it's like, yep, I'll deploy Sabine. I'm like, okay, I wasn't thinking like round
it's a turn 2 leader.
turn
Turn
3.
three.
It's like it's already out there. I'm like, okay, I forgot about
Oh
that
yeah,
part.
3, yeah. 3.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
definitely saying like have an answer for her immediately, or
Yep.
else she's going to like really kind of just pile on that ping damage. In addition to being like a unit on the board.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she's really good. I mean, I think she just fits that archetype of aggro.
Yeah, I mean that's
Immediately.
a perfect ability for something on that archetype. Is I'm just like every turn dealing a damage.
And that
Like,
makes it
there-
scary even more so. Like, right, if I'm playing those 25, like even if I'm playing like a green
Because it
aggro
means
deck,
it means you're playing like
Scary.
an 18 health base.
But like, look at the red cards. There's not a ton, but look at the red
There's
cards that are
3.
out there. They're scary, man.
both of you just flame. I was the only one that said that the whatchamacallit was half decent. The space one.
No, but I mean, like,
Both of you were like,
Starving
oh, that's
Scout?
kind of crappy. You're
the
like a
space one
4/1.
does suck. The space one does suck, but
Bro,
I'm
that's
talking about like
33% the red cards.
Like, I think Imperial Interceptor is great. Vader's really great.
No.
Palpatine is great.
yeah, but none of that applies to Sabine.
No, but I'm saying red. I think red is going to be good.
Oh, maybe.
He didn't say Sabine's going to be good. He said red.
Yeah.
I was
Sabine's gonna be cool.
talking about the archetype of Sabine, and Brian just immediately like.
I mean that's
Vader's
the,
gonna be-
I mean the space unit. Yeah, 3 whatever 3 for 1 or. The only solace you have there is there's going to be less stuff in space, so maybe it doesn't get shot down immediately.
And also it has the thing if you have the initiative, you draw 2
Draw-
cards. I think. off
yeah.
But I mean, a 4-1 in space that demands an answer. So
Yes, it does
That's
demand it. It demands an answer. It's just unfortunately the answer is anything.
um, yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to tell whether where red hero is going to line up at. But I mean, if Sabine gets some stuff to help ping the base on play actions, right? There could be stuff where it's undercosted, but on play deal damage to the base. When you take an action, deal damage to the base, stuff like that. So.
It's gonna be hard to beat green. Green's got awesome stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, green's fleshed out enough to where they have some early and mid game, and then also have a bomb. Like it'll even out eventually, but like green early game, right? You talk about like even doing some good trades with the laser technician. Mid game, you can get to Callus, and then you can finish with overwhelming barrage. You can finish with relentless. Whereas like even like blue hero and blue villain, it's like you have some decent mid game and early game. But like, what are you playing at end game that matters? Oh, look at the puppy.
Dog.
So yeah, I think green just is ahead right now because that's the only color that has a early, mid, and end game in our 90 card spoiler set or whatever.
But Sabine's cool. She can only get better.
Yeah. All right. Next up is it back to me?
I think it's back to you.
I think it is. Hardpoint
Whatever way
Heavy
you-
Blaster. It is an upgrade, 2 cost, green, 1 single aspect icon. It says attached to a vehicle unit. Attached unit gains on attack. If this unit isn't attacking a base, you may deal 2 damage to a unit in the defender's arena. It is +2 attack, +2 defense. It is a modification weapon subtitle. I like upgrades have always been kind of weird, but I feel like 1/2 cost upgrades kind of have impressed me. Like the other ones kind of feel bad so far in that Luke and Vader, the only way you really do want to play them are kind of on Luke and Vader. They do have like, you know, they might be +3 attack, +1 defense, but not terrible. But hardpoint, I'm just thinking like right now, like thinking Tarkin, like even like turn 1, you buff a TIE fighter to a, what is a TIE fighter base? 2-1? You buff it to a 3-2, and then next turn you go to 5-4. Like, that's kind of scary. Right now, you did invest 4 resources into that, but, you know, something like that could be big. Same thing with an X-Wing. There's no Tarkin buff for that, obviously, but I actually like Hardpoint Heavy Blaster more than I originally thought some of these units would be.
I mean, amusingly enough, it's an AT. It's, you know, that's obviously like the side mounted weapon on an ATSD.
Yeah.
And an ATSD is like a really baller card to put this on because it has overwhelm. So even though you're restricted to attacking not the base, you can kind of cheat around that. And I see that the ability to deal the 2 damage is not restricted to anything. It's just in that arena. So you could honestly deal the 2 damage to the thing that you're attacking to kind of pseudo-ly deal the damage to the base.
Yeah. I think that upgrades need to have and then on them.
And then
Right? Like, I can't... It's hard to justify plopping down an upgrade and then getting it waylaid or blown up, and you're like, okay. You know, kind of feels like you're setting yourself back, but, like, the end then kind of helps you where it has another ability and you kind of feel good about it, and if it goes away it feels extra worse, but I don't know. I don't know if they feel worth it yet.
But if you could play a 2/2, or if you could play a 2 cost that is a 2/2 that could immediately attack, I feel like you would. And that's
No, this one definitely is better.
But but I'm saying like that's the point, or that's the advantage of upgrades is that you can play it on a unit that's ready and attack that turn as well.
Mhm.
Whereas like if you just played a 2 cost unit that was 2/2 and had the same ability, you would still have to wait till next turn.
Yeah. So I think this is in the right direction, and I like this a lot more, and I would consider running this in a full 50. But
What are the other upgrades? We have that resilient one that's the +3. We have the entrenched one,
Entrenched.
which is +2/+2, right? Or +3/+3.
Luke Invader Saber.
But you can't attack a base, and then the sabers.
And
So,
that's
I mean,
it.
we still haven't really seen how much they've leaned into upgrades so far, but I mean, heavy blaster seems like a decent one to run.
First one that isn't leader specific. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and Trench is like niche of you could play that in a control deck, right? You pop out with Vader, I slap this on your Vader and then try to take over space or something like that, But yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, who's up next? Is it Scott?
I think it's me. Kanan Jarrus. He is a unit ground. Has everything I've read been unit ground? I think so. 4 cost, blue, beige. What are we calling that color?
Hero.
Heroism.
Well, so people are saying that one is heroism, and then the black one is villain, and then the other 4 are just the colors.
Okay. Blue, beige. He's a 4/5, Force Jedi Rebel Spectre. Jeez, that's a lot of keywords.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's 4.
Mhm.
On attack, you may discard. Oh no, it's a mill card. It's a mill. No,
Get
read
it
it.
out.
you may
Quick
discard
curse.
1 card from the defending player's deck for each friendly Spectre unit. All right, at least it's an arrow mill card. Heal 1 damage from your base for each different aspect among the discarded cards. All right, at least it's not like straight only mills them. It actually does something for you.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I can see why, because I know that what was it? Tyler came out and said that he had 6 health for most of
4,
testing,
6.
and they decided to back it off,
Yeah.
just because he can be utilized to like trigger off so many things that require keywords.
And what was his word? So he actually said there was a specific keyword. It was force. Forge
Force.
is one of the best traits in the game, is what Tyler said specifically.
Yeah, well, I can imagine, and like with this, it's like you're crossing the, because obviously you're gonna have a lot of stuff that's Force and Jedi. Like that's gonna be, like, I doubt you're gonna get anything that's Jedi except for like Huang that isn't also Force. So you're gonna see that a lot, but you're not gonna have very many Force rebels, and you're not gonna have, except for him and Ezra, you're not gonna have many Force Spectres. So there's really like a lot there, and he can key off a lot of things, and especially if Spectre is one of those things, one of those tribes that's like very heavy on the tribal aspect of it. I can see why having a Force user in that, allowing you access to all of those cards, would be such a big deal.
Hear me out.
Hearing?
I would put entrenched on this.
Yeah, that seems to be that would be like a thing.
I would want him to stick around as long as possible, because you're not only milling your opponent, but you're healing your base. I don't care if I'm going into base with this, as long as this thing survives. I like this card a lot, actually. I know he got kind of clowned on when he got dropped, right? But
Yeah, because people were kind of saying like for a double aspect 4 cost 4 or 5 is not the best stat line, but yeah, I mean if you look at it as essentially like restore 1 and discard a card from the top of the deck, I think that's pretty good. And like Scott pointed out immediately, like the flexibility of the 4 traits is their keywords or whatever it is exactly called in this game. I think it's gonna be huge.
I want to run Spectre pretty badly. I don't
Yeah,
even know what the
Spectre
rest of the
seems fun.
Spectres are, but I like the theme. I don't like the Rebels,
Yeah.
so
I was waiting for Kanan. They kept saying how I think
They
it was
brought him up
Josh
every
or
stream.
something. Every stream they're like, Kanan's my favorite character. If I want to play 8 Kanan in my deck, can I? It's like, sure, you absolutely can. 8 different Kanan. Yeah, I mean, I think he's good. I mean, the mill's like kind of irrelevant because like it's one, like you could hit their big thing, but you could also hit something that's not relevant and get them to their big thing, the next card, right? Without actually knowing type thing. But yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. I think he fits like a decent card. He's not like the first 10 cards in my deck, but he could be around that 30 to 40 range. And we got to see more of those force cards. I think the only force card right now is it binds all things.
Yoda.
That does anything. No, I mean that does anything. You could have 100
Oh.
force units. That means nothing to the trait until you actually get cards that like play off the trait. Is what I more so was going for.
Yeah, like Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still looking for like a deck that's just all Jedi.
Hey, we're getting
Force
close to
Jedi.
force.
I would like that. That sounds fun.
You could do 3 Yoda, 3 Kanan, right? You can consider Luke the leader one, and
3 Obi-Wan.
3 Obi-Wan. So you're at 10
Yeah,
now.
that sounds fun.
And I mean, I still think we're going to be getting like a big Luke and a big Vader for ground, like just straight up units. So I mean, it could be up to 13 with that in a Luke deck.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna put an Ezra?
Maybe.
I don't see
Would-
how they don't, right? I mean,
And he'd probably have to be Force. I don't see why not. He might not get Jedi, but he'll at least get Force.
I'm real worried
You
that
might-
Zeb and Chopper are going to get shafted, like they did in Destiny.
if Chopper isn't like an 8/8, just big beat stick, I'll be really upset.
He's like a be prepared. He just wipes the board.
Yeah,
Kills all
yeah.
units. Yeah.
I
the
want
all-
his. Go ahead, Fluck.
I want all arts of Chopper. You know how like Chopper's always like disguising like as like an Imperial like droid. That'd be
Yeah,
cool if
yeah.
there was like a full art and he's just like all blacked out, whatever, or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
I want his little title to be War Criminal, as well.
The amount of people he's killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could go a few different directions. Like they could make. I mean, in Destiny, he was yellow twice and blue once. So I mean, you got a few different options of that.
It's hopefully better art.
Yeah, dude, somebody, I think it was the Hyperloops Discord. Somebody, maybe I shouldn't say. If you haven't, yeah, maybe it's a spoiler. I don't know. On to something, but no, he was in a trailer. If you watch the trailer,
Yeah, don't say anything. I'm not caught up.
Dude, watch a show.
I have to 3D print an entire Necron army. That takes a second.
Bro, you
Do
hit,
it while you're watching the show.
you hit
just
play.
wait for it to
or
print.
You hit print. And then go watch
Yeah, but I got multiple printers going. It's a thing.
he can't. He wouldn't be able to hear the show.
I really can't. That room's
Multiple
very
printers.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah.
like 3, right? 2, 3. For
loud. I got
3D?
technically 4 right now, but 2 of them are broke.
Hmm.
They gotta get returned for warranty purposes.
Oh my
Fun.
god.
Oh, your printers are out of money. They're broke. Bad
Oh,
joke. Okay,
got
you
'em.
said broke instead of broken. No, it's just bad joke.
All right, who's got the last card?
Lockton.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, yeah. This person, cheater. So this one is Sabine Wren, unit, ground, 2 cost, red, good guys, explosive artist. She's a 2/3 Mandalorian rebel specter. While there are at least 3 aspects among other friendly units, this unit cannot be attacked unless she gains Sentinel. On attack, you may deal 1 damage to a defender or to a base. So to clarify, the 3 aspects we were talked about earlier, it's the 3 different colors, not just 3 different aspects in general. So
Yeah, not 3 different icons. You need to have
Yeah.
different physical aspects on the board.
There's 5 icons out. We should be good, right?
The leader counts towards it. If you have Sabine out, the leader out, and then a hero in yellow out, that counts.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, she's in really 2 drop. Essentially a 3/3. Seems pretty good. You could help clear the board of some things and then deal damage in the base. Like,
Yep.
I think she's good. And the rebel tag so far we've seen is good. She benefits from Dodonna. She benefits from Rebel Lieutenant. Spectre and Mandalorian do not matter at this point. I believe so.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love this artwork too.
Oh, yeah.
Kanan's as well. I really like Kanan's. I kind of wish he was in the mask, but it still looks great. I love Kanan in the mask.
We get it. You like ponytails. You're
True.
really into Freddie Prinze
True.
Jr.
Well, I mean, he's got a ponytail there, man.
You just watch what is that Jessica Biel and Freddie Prinze Jr. movie about baseball, like Summer Catch, Fever Pitch, something.
I did
Jack just
watch it.
watches that constantly.
It's the only thing I ever have on. All right. Any other thoughts on these spoilers? We got a few questions to get into.
We better get him in.
They were good.
All right. First one is from Darth Jar Jar. Do you think the new Sabine is worth playing it off aspect? So the unit that we just talked about, which would mean paying 4. Like putting her in red Boba aggro deck or putting all of the Spectres together, and that's assuming that Hera would be green War Command. So would you run like a green-yellow Hera deck and put Sabine in there? Would you run a red Boba deck?
It'd be way easier to satisfy her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a Spectre deck, sure. In a red Bulba aggro deck,
Yeah,
maybe.
because you're,
I
you're
mean,
still going to struggle
I
to
mean,
get the 3 aspects off. But if you're playing her in a green-blue hero deck, then yeah, maybe.
I think it's hard to say until more cards come out that would benefit from her being there. Like right now, eh.
I would say no to Boba, but yeah, no, depending on what cards come out and how Hera interacts, if there's more Spectre synergy of things, yeah. Am I gonna? I can't say no to hypothetical if Hera comes out broken with Spectre synergy, right? That could be something, but we'll have to wait and see. But I'm open to the idea of maybe paying 4, but paying 4 for a 2/3 that deals the damage on attack might be a little rough.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah,
have to guarantee that you
it's
have
her
that.
attack stat that's really like the problem thing at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
Then she
And
becomes the
she would be
whole
really stymied if a Sentinel came onto the table
thing.
because she can't attack into other units because she'll die.
Yep. Yeah, she'll pretty much get yeeted by any Sentinel that we've seen so far. And I'm curious. Her key or thing also says unless she gains Sentinel. So I wonder if there's ways you can give your opponent's unit Sentinel so you can make sure you
Yeah,
kill
just
that
play,
stuff.
like give Sentinel to a unit and just be like, and Sabine gets it dead.
Yep. There's something like that in Lorcana too. There's like that Tinkerbell card that you can give another unit Sentinel or evasive or whatever their thing is. Evasive is Lorcana.
Oh yeah.
Or Lorcana is Runeterra. I forget what Lorcana's is. We're stumped. But either way, so they you could like give it to them and then your other evasive unit could then kill that person. But yeah, so there could be some plays like that in there. Inception from Garbage Rollers says, what cards have surprised you in gameplay and changed your opinion on them, good or worse than you expected?
Lorcana's evasive, by the way.
It is evasive?
Well, the answer's got to be Sabine Wren because she's worse than you guys expected because you thought she worked differently than she does.
Still
I
good.
wouldn't-
I mean, yeah,
I wouldn't
she
say
is
necessarily.
worse than the unrealistic expectations of how the card worked. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm trying to think.
for me, Chewie just seems pretty strong. The unit.
The readies when attacked.
Yeah, it just makes it
46.
very annoying. I got lucky when I played Jack the one time that I was able to take him out pretty early without taking much. But I feel like if you get out there, they don't. It takes at least 2 to 3 units to attack Chewie to kill him. It feels like.
Or, yeah, an attack and a card or something.
Yeah.
An event. Yeah. 6 health is a lot.
Yep.
I would say that I had a feeling that Relentless would be pretty good. But playing against it, you feel quite helpless. I would say, especially if your space isn't built up. I think that's a game winner for sure.
You mean it's relentless?
It is Relentless indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to, like, double prepare for it to go, right? You have to keep, like, your shoot first, a 1 cost, just burn it, and then waylay it or vanquish.
Yeah, but then even if you have,
Or you throw
but that
2 of
does
those
that.
scout ships at it.
but that would imply that you have
yeah, but
face
like,
built up or 2 events in your hand,
yeah, but
which isn't necessarily always the case.
Oh, green villain is going up past 7 resources. I should probably think about these next few cards that I'm
No,
drawing.
I know. I'm just saying, if you're not prepared for it, you're absolutely screwed.
Prepare for it, Brian. You knew I had it, and then you still didn't. I drew it with Tarkin, and you.
Well, I mean, at the point where you had it, there's nothing I could do. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah, so you see them resourcing to 8, 9. You need to keep a cheap cost to burn, and then something like a Vanquish or. Like a Waylay still kind of feels bad, but at least kills it for that turn.
Right.
But yeah, for me, impressed, I would probably say Tarkin. Like the leader. I think he's just been really good, better than I kind of expected, handing out that. But I mean, I think that's just the meta of an early game of just giving bonus stats to get better trades is going to be the nature of it. And worse, maybe the leader Chewie. He was really good when he came out in the limited card pool we had then, but now I don't know. He just seems worse and worse. But he hasn't got any support really. I don't know.
trying to think of worse.
I also don't
Yeah.
love Mahdi as much. Every time I play him, I'm like, "Ugh, this seems so annoying to try to ping that damage to get the timing off of readying a
I-
villain.
Really like Ozzel. I think Ozzel's really awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I think Oz is good.
Everything else though, like things that most of the stuff that I've played doesn't really feel all that bad.
I guess it's also hard like in comparison to like eventually some of these cards you'd be like, yeah, this is actually kind of a crappy card because now this newer card is better and does similar role.
Right. Everything feels
Yeah.
balanced out for the most part.
Yeah. What is all y'all's favorite SWU card revealed so far? Mechanic wise, just happy to see the character. What's your favorite?
I like seeing Boba Fett and his fire spray. Not gonna lie.
You did play that tonight.
Yeah, I like Boba Fett.
I
But I'm
feel
still
like-
waiting for Jar Jar, so I'm crossing all my fingers and toes.
You won't find it in this set, I don't think.
Yeah, probably
there's
not.
always
Probably
hope.
not.
Speaking.
There's always hope.
Probably not.
About
Unlimited
that.
possibility.
Rebellions are built off hope.
Yeah, okay. Recency bias for me, I want to say Callus. I think Callus is a really well designed card. But realistically, Palpatine.
Pab Daddy.
Big Pap Daddy's kind of my thing in Destiny, and I feel like, it'll be something cool.
Scott, what about you? What card excites you so far?
Home one.
Mm.
Just the fact, just the sheer amount of like text on it. Restore 2, gain everything else gains restore 1. You can play a unit back from your discard pile. Like that's just a lot for a unit that also has anything at that cost has like relatively overwhelming stats.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna take out and be able to take out anything on the table that isn't like a Chewbacca or a Relentless, to be honest.
Yeah, I think home one was probably my answer. Thematic wise, probably like one of the Spectres or something. Like seeing Kanan's really cool, seeing Samin's really cool, but I was up there with that. And his third and final question is: how do you plan on buying into Star Wars Unlimited? One box plus draft every week, a case plus no limited, etc. What are your plans? If a case
have
is
no
6
plan.
or under, do a case plus draft and pre-release.
2 cases.
2.
2 cases, yeah. It's gotta be evens. Can't do 1 case.
That's weird. Even
One
numbers of the
case
dead.
would be either be 4 or 6 boxes probably.
Yeah, but it's still 1 case. It's odd.
Yeah,
The
odd
one
numbers of
case
dead.
is real.
2 case, 24 boxes. It's even. Both ways.
Yeah, more likely 2 cases, 12 boxes.
That
I
gets
don't,
So
I
is
don't
that
think,
what it's
I don't
gonna
think
be?
a case is going to be 12 boxes. I think
Oh,
it'll
I
either be 4 or
thought
6.
for some reason I had that in my head. I think I said I was gonna buy 12 boxes, so you had 2 cases.
Well, you're thinking the 12 from the special card.
He wants a
Okay.
showdown.
Yeah.
He's gonna buy a showdown.
Yeah, right.
Showcase.
Showdown.
Oh yeah.
He's going to buy shit.
Showtime.
He's
Flock's
buying
going to be the
himself
one
a
who buys
showdown.
12 boxes and then doesn't get a showcase.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Bad luck flocked.
And
I'm going
and
for
then
my
you're gonna-
ROI. I'm telling you.
Then we're gonna see some person with like a very suspect fake Facebook profile posting like, "I can't believe they're not guaranteed," and Flockton's gonna be Flockton, just behind the mask.
I'm going to have to get Carrie to pull my cards, dude. She pulled me an Enchanted Elsa and then pulled me an Elsa.
Yeah, that's wild.
So,
I was flabbergasted. I got those back-to-back messages where I was like, "Are you serious right
Brian
now?
was so
Get outta
mad.
here."
He's supposed to be the one that gets the insane pulls.
I was supposed to get some good stuff, and all I got was Taka and Gantu.
You got an Elsa in there.
I got a foil Elsa
Yeah, that's good.
that I don't want to use.
Sell it, Brian. Literally, the longer you wait, the more that card loses value. The reprint
know.
is coming. The winter is coming.
Oh,
Sell it for
it's
some
coming
swoo.
coming from you. That's funny, Jack.
Hey, I sold it. I just gotta ship it.
Yeah. Okay.
I got money in my PayPal,
You
bro.
still haven't shipped it yet? Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh, it's sitting there.
To answer this question though, I think I need to wait until next stream. Next stream is definitely going to determine whether I get.
When they put
One
an
case-
actual number to it.
Yeah. I need a finite. I have no plan right now, because I could do the One Piece method where I decide.
You know that
I
you're
wanna
not going to do the
You were
One Piece
not,
method.
you were not,
You're only doing
you
the
were
One
not.
Piece method because it's multiple sets in,
Yeah, you're doing that because you're joining in on the fourth set.
and you can't
Except-
get the first set.
Well, no. Except make each box per set a case per set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'll jump from $100.
Ryan, you're going to buy 3
$400.
cases of this set because before the second one comes out, because you're just going to want to open more stuff.
Look what
We're going to have to handcuff you to a radiator.
Look
I
what
don't
you
know
did with
why
Fab.
this. Why did this question turn so hostile to me?
What did you do in the car on the way home from that Connecticut Flesh and Blood event?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Scott's playing
You
Top Cut. Brian's like, I bought another box.
I do not recall.
Where's my lawyer? I will say nothing until my lawyer is here.
Hey, listen. Hey,
Repeat
listen.
the fifth. 1, 2, 3,
Listen.
4, 5.
I fear for this game and what it will do to me as a person.
I fear for you too.
Alan saw that side of me when we were in Vegas,
Oh
and I
god.
feel as though the gremlin is going to come back out and this game drops.
We need to
Bro was
contact
like
all the
Bilbo
local
Baggins when
stores
somebody took the ring
and
from him.
give them a picture of Brian and say that he's not allowed to buy product unless he's with another person.
That's happened before.
Has that
for
stopped
different
him?
things.
Me and you went with him to Connecticut for Flesh and Blood, and we're playing games, and then Brian just walks back with a box. Be like, yeah, I lost.
Well, we didn't talk to the store owner at that point, being like, "Hey, don't sell him anything. He's got a problem."
I would love to see my old ring just one more time.
Alan covers the slot machine. You lunge. but actually.
Listen,
Want to see me lose $20? Want to
Uh,
see me lose it
do it
again?
I'm one
yeah, that's great.
sealed product of starters, right? I will buy one of that to make sure I have a playset of that, and then I'll do a case. Is probably my likely intro.
Okay, initially.
Oh, yeah, initially, all right, yeah, that's real. I mean, initially.
Yeah, I mean, and then I'll do I'll do the pre-releases. You guys be like, "Hey, want to do a draft?" I'll do that. Like, I'm not gonna cut that stuff out. But yeah, I mean, first that can also be telling. If it then feels terrible or I feel like I bought too much, then I have to go back. Destiny, we kept getting more and more. It was like the last set. We knew the game was probably gonna die soon, and we still were like, case. But that was when we had the partnership, so we got them.
I have one box. It's downstairs, still unopened.
Bro, you should sell that. That honestly would probably sell for like $150 for something.
Yeah, I mean, let's check. Let's check on TCD.
It's on
Player
PCG,
right
it was
now.
like 80-ish.
What was the set called?
Covert Missions. Was that the last one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Covert Missions was the last one. Yeah. I'm afraid for this game's launch.
That's why I canceled the One Piece stuff.
Yeah, I need to go back into hibernation mode. My bank account needs to go into hibernation mode.
Bro, you're the richest one here. Bro's
You
out
are?
money bags galore. Look at that headset, bro.
He knows it. He knows it.
I'm poor rich. You know what I mean? Like
Hood Rich.
I've got like stupid shit I could buy, but like I can't buy anything of value. You know what I mean?
True.
I made myself uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else. What's the next question?
We got one from Banana Crapshoot. Do you think we will get a Rey and Kylo deck similar to what we had with Raylo and Destiny? How would you design it?
The whole set is Raylo. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be hard to match something like that though. Where like,
The synergy isn't going to be there, but you can play whatever you want with whatever you want, you know?
well, more so just like having two things on the board that constantly synergize off each other. Like, I guess there is a world where you could literally design like a Raylo specific thing where it's like you could bring two leaders, but you can only play them with each other. That seems kind of weird.
No.
There would probably have to be something where it's like you also then have to play this base because then the base is taxed on something. Or like their abilities are so terrible. I mean, I guess there could be something where you could run Ray as a hero blue, but then her text or something like she could have an ability as well, but then also her text says you could play Kylo without the aspect penalty or something like that. So you could include 3 of Kylo Ren villain blue in your deck and not have to pay the extra 2. Something along that lines, I feel like would be that. But that could also open a lot of can of worms because if they design like a broken Kylo 2 sets later, that ends up synergizing insanely well. That could be an issue, but
I think it's a slippery slope. I think in Destiny it made sense. I think in this it makes less sense.
yeah.
Whereas you're not putting.
I mean, they could also then put the specific tag, right? Like you could say,
The way they do
Yeah.
uniques in this game, it would make more sense. Yeah, but
Like-
it's
yeah, you play Ray, you can bring out Kylo from set 3, card number, whatever exactly he is, and say you can play him without aspect penalties. Like there could be that. And then Kylo could
like
have
a
something like
hassle.
if you're Yeah, I mean, but that's what it was like for Raylo in that. Like you literally had to build them around each other, like you were pigeonholed into these 30 cards essentially.
Price is Right rules, real quick. Closest without going over. What do you think the lowest price for a covert mission sealed booster box is on eBay right now?
75.
120.
62.
$250.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah, you guys were lowballing it. I was like, those prices have only gone up.
Wow. The lowest price?
Yeah, I'll
That's
buy it for me.
the low-
I'll buy it for you for $75.
I'll give you a nickel.
I'm good. Just keep it to the moon. Keep holding it. GameStop all the way.
GME.
Any
All
other
right. Are
thoughts?
there more? There's another question, isn't there?
But I was gonna say, any other thoughts on the Ray Kylo idea?
No.
No.
Last one from Pretzel Boy. When will Jack stop ducking Scott? I don't get how this turned into a
Everybody
one-way
wants to
thing
know.
because you and Brian all got into the same game, and somehow Brian is avoiding these.
Because you and I were specifically scheduled to play, and you're like, nah, I'm going to go to Lorcana instead.
Yeah, that was like release weekend. Though. That was exciting.
I'm just saying you did it. I didn't have, a date with Destiny scheduled with Brian, so Brian did not, in fact, duck me.
Brian and Jack
who do you
both
think was
ducked.
like, let's go, bro?
Yeah,
He doesn't have any obligations. You're the one with the obligation.
Invite Brian
Yeah,
right
I
now.
literally do nothing.
Look, I'm away.
Brian, when
I'm
do you want
away
to play
this weekend.
Shatterpoint? Brian and I have been talking like separately through text messages about this
We
like a
have.
day ago.
All right, you 2 play Saturday. I'm away this weekend. Get a game in.
No, I've got my 40K meetup thing all of Saturday.
Sunday.
Can't do Sunday. I'm away.
No, you're not.
I am.
Where are you going?
No, you're not.
Oh, Celtic Fest. I already talked about this.
What about Friday? What are you doing Friday night?
I don't have Grievous put together yet.
I don't even have Grievous put together. I think he's in one of the boxes behind me.
Grievous
Yeah,
just
yeah.
looks so daunting to put together. I mean, I could play what I have.
Still got the wrap
He
on
is
it.
slightly intimidating. Brian, I will put
Those
Grievous
connections are
together
this
tomorrow.
big. They're this big. I'm gonna break it.
All right.
I'm gonna glue my fingers together. and I'm
Uh,
gonna break Grievous. I'm gonna feel real bad about it.
I'm looking forward to the battle report Friday.
All right.
And if there's no battle report, I'm looking forward to Scott, including Brian, in the roasting.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. I will be ducking you soon. Grievous is not ready, and I want to play Grievous.
All right.
Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow.
No, it's not.
All my, everyone's. I'm not gonna do it, but yeah, maybe I could.
Any other thoughts, comments, concerns before we hit the 2-hour mark?
I'm going to bed, man. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Good
I
night.
can't-
If we had started on time, I'd have more thoughts, but unfortunately, we didn't.
That's okay.
I'm so hyped for this game. I need it
Midnight.
now. I need it right this second.
Yeah.
I need the showcase showdown. I need boxes on boxes on boxes. I'm ready. The hype is real. Hype is high.
I'm excited for next week. Well,
He's ready to
maybe,
be disappointed again.
Hype is so high it blew the rest of my hair off my head.
we'll look to podcast next week
Woo!
as well, probably after the other
When
stream.
we can watch Brian like run the abacus and see how much he can afford.
Yeah.
He's got one of those old timey accounting machines. He's pulling levers.
Brian's gonna walk up the top deck and be like, "Whatever you have, give it." You know.
I'll take the lot.
I bet I can get you a
Anything
place that's
from the
going to give you a better
trolleys,
deal
dude.
than Top Deck.
Yeah,
I was just naming the
I'm-
place that most likely would have the most on-demand product.
But hopefully, we're not dealing with a scarcity situation.
I also
Don't
would
even
rather
say
not deal with
that.
top deck, anyways. But...
I'm gonna be doing some real math next week.
All right, y'all. Let's head to bed. Appreciate everybody still being here. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. We'll be announcing the
yes.
giveaway of the Vader and Luke promos tomorrow. That'll be on Facebook. You have a few days to claim it. If you do not, then it'll go back up to raffle, and we'll see who gets it after there. You can feel free to join our Discord to continue talking about the game, the releases, and the cards coming out, what decks we're playing, stuff like that. So, but appreciate y'all hanging in there. If you are here, you're a real G at the hour 55 and 38 second mark. Appreciate you, and we will catch you next week.
Bye.
Toodles.